I'm Jennifer from Cultaholic. This is This Day in Wrestling, and I am joined by the ever lovely Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
We've made it, the end of the month.
We have April 27th.
27th.
And what happened on April 27th? Go on, tell me, Jen. Tell me.
A fair bit of stuff. Actually, a really cool thing did happen on April 27th, 18 years ago.
18 years.
So that was what, 2000?
We're bad at maths. We're bad at maths.
I was going to say...
Can the editor put it on screen?
2000. Is that right?
It's 2018.
What year is it? How many?
It's 2018, if it's 18 years ago, it's 2000.
That's what I said. But she said no.
Leave all this in.
It was like you were looking at me like, no.
Anyway, in the year 2000, which is 18 years ago.
In the year 2000, which is 18 years ago, boys and girls, it was the first, well, it was the taping of the pilot episode of Smackdown.
Yeah.
That's quite big news.
Massive, because Smackdown would go on, obviously, to become what it is today.
Yeah.
Sometimes regarded as the A show, sometimes the B show, but the parallel show to Raw.
Yeah, exactly. It's the one that, well, it's now pitted against.
Yeah.
But it was pre-taped. And then it aired 2 days later. And it was intended as a one-off special. Yeah. Why was it a one-off special? I
think back then it would have been, you know, if it was intended to be a show and they know they were going for a pilot, they would still market it as a one-off special because
to be safe.
Because if they go, we're going to launch a new weekly show, we're going to call it Smackdown, and it's going to be great, and it's a car crash. And it doesn't get picked up, then what do you do?
So you think it was all intentional to name it as a one-time?
The roster was pretty deep around then. It wasn't excessively so, but I think you had B shows, you had Heat, and obviously we had all these shows that would air on like Sky One over here and on non-paid sports television, where you'd get a lot of sort of like main event, where you'd get like lesser feuds and just sort of showcase matches, but. Yeah, I believe they would have marketed it as a one-off special just for that reason. But it got picked up 4 months later.
4 months later we had to wait, and then that was it. And it was on, what network?
UPN.
UPN, for 7 years.
Yeah, and then it just moved on and on and on, and now it's...
And now it's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Now it's up there, like you definitely say it's... I know it's like A and B show and everything like that, but... It's definitely...
It's differed through time though, like, because I think... Do you have any favourite Smackdown memories? Because mine in particular is like when Heyman had control and we had the Smackdown 6, that was like... Raw didn't really matter. Raw was great, but like Smackdown was just next level. It was like you couldn't go a week without watching it. Because there was just those 6 guys, just the feuds and the way it was built and Heyman's booking, it was all just... was wonderful.
Definitely a fan then.
Yeah, Smackdown, and obviously I loved the Smackdown video games as a kid, and
yeah, I had a Smackdown video game, I'm sure.
Smackdown 2 is probably still my favourite, although I do love Here Comes the Pain. But Smackdown 2 on the PS1, I remember looking at that in a magazine going, this looks so real. Looking back at it now, like this looks like nothing, it's like pixels, but
thoughts on Smackdown now?
Smackdown now.
Where do you think it's at? Right, there you go, A or B show, right now.
B. Although, it's hard because Raw is given an extra hour, and it's often to the detriment of Raw, but Raw gets sort of... Raw's like the favourite child, and Smackdown's like the little one that causes trouble, and just sort of gets mistreated or like overlooked. And Smackdown's sort of the more experimental show because they do all the things with like the text pop-ins on screen, and they tried all the different camera setups and they wanted to make it look different and feel different.
So do you think they kind of use it as like a testing
platform
almost?
Yeah, it's at the minute I'd say so. I'd like Smackdown to be put back in control of like a dedicated creative team that has like a set amount of people they can work with and a set amount of belts that they can work with and just build and craft lovely little feuds like they used to, because especially now with the dual branded pay-per-views coming back, it means that there's so much that has to happen now on TV because, you know, you're not going to get every match on a pay-per-view now. So you're going to have these huge blow-up matches on TV. And it's just a goldmine.
I was going to say, it can only be a good thing.
Yeah, it's only going to improve the quality of wrestling that we're going to see. So I'd like very much for that to happen for SmackDown because I always thought it was the better show when I was growing up.
Everyone likes an underdog, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
So another thing about, like, you know, creating Smackdown is the element of competition.
Yeah, obviously it didn't start off that way, I guess. There was still WCW at the time.
Sure.
It was definitely in its death throes. It was getting to the point where it was almost grinding to a halt. WWF had won. But
that element of competition within wrestling, like, you're like, oh, what did you watch? Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, anybody that grew up with wrestling in the 90s will miss that level of competition.
Well, it's the spirit of wrestling, is it not? Competition?
Like, the feud between those two companies is great, and I think being able to replicate that feud in-house and not being able, like, not losing out any money, because either way somebody's watching your product and buying your merchandise and then paying for your pay-per-view. So I think... So
do you think it's been successful at doing that?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why we've had brand split again. I think, you know, it drives that sort of passion for competition. I think, you know, pay-per-views like bragging rights aren't really as good as what people would make out. I think, like, the idea of, you know, deciding which brand's better, I think there needs to be more at stake than just wear the better brand. I think when it's like inter-brand title matches where things are really at stake, I think that's great. But I'd like to see that competition come back with force, because it's sort of bubbled away like it was going to at the split, and then it's sort of fizzled away again. So, yeah. Will
we see it back?
Hopefully. Let us know in the comments below.
And a little fact that Mr. Adam Pachito rarely on, which I did not know, and I think this is actually a really good pub quiz question, actually.
Is he telling the truth though? Because he's a known liar. I'm just gonna keep insulting you while you sat there.
Please. Oh, well, no, I believe you. I believe you. In fact, I'm gonna go and look it up as well. Smackdown is actually included in the Oxford English Dictionary.
Seriously?
Apparently so. I believe Adam Pachito.
That's absolutely mental. Like, what does it say?
I want to know what the definition is.
Like, layeth the smacketh down. What's it gonna say?
I think that's so cool.
Obviously, that's I guess the mark of any major pop culture force is if you get into the dictionary. A lot of people complain the dictionary is getting very lax these days, but if Smackdown's in there, it can't be that bad.
I was going to say, like, obviously it was The Rock that came up with it. Chinky brags about that. Chinky's like something
I bet he wishes he trademarked it. But yeah, I mean, he must feel amazing because of, like, everything he's given.
He just wakes up and it's just like...
everything he's given to the industry, and to be able to have a show that will probably continue well into the future and just continue on even after, like, everybody's gone, maybe still SmackDown will be there. You know, it's a lasting legacy.
2003, Backlash.
Yes, from Worcester, Massachusetts.
There you go.
Yeah, Massachusetts, Boston. John Cena.
John Cena, and Lesnar.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena.
Back then, when he was really a machine, when he was like busting out shooting star presses, and he was hungry and still invested in the wrestling business.
Yeah. That's interesting. Like, when you just say that there, do you think he's really kind of given up on it? Do you think he's just lost?
I don't.
Or do you think it's all just a bit of our work? This whole.
I think Lesnar is legitimately. You know, he's a legitimately hard guy. He fights in the UFC. I think WWE is, as many people point out, a payday for him. But you know, he wouldn't come back if he didn't have at least some passion for it. You know, he's put on some good matches since he came back. Everybody just goes, "Oh, Goldberg," and it was such a small match. But like, AJ had a great match with AJ. Like, in particular, that's one of my favorite matches Lesnar's had recently. I think the passion might be dying, or it might take a lot to get rekindled in him, but I think he still loves the wrestling business. I don't agree with the belt being on him though, at all.
No.
No, I think that should really have been taken off him. As a part-timer, you know, you want to see that belt every week, because it's your belt.
Well, at this point in time, when we go to air, we'll know.
Yeah.
If it's still there. We know it's definitely gone. Yeah. I know it's gone.
Obviously, also on this card, just to go back to Backlash 2003, we had Team Angle, which is Benjamin and Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin. No, they said Charlotte Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, who defeated Los Guerreros. You had Kane and RVD, who defeated the Dudleys to retain their World Tag Team Championships, with Val Venus as guest referee. Wasn't really doing much around that time, Val Venus. I guess he'd sort of...
He had the day off, you know, he could fill in.
Yeah.
Bless.
Yeah. He was a very, like, 90s character, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah, it did. It did. It was such like so many time and place characters from the 90s that you just couldn't do now.
No, gosh, no, definitely. Imagine Val Venus out now. Easy, get the jail. No chance.
Goldberg defeated The Rock in a singles match as well to close the show. So no surprise there either.
Backlash.
Backlash 2003. Watch it. 2008 overseas, you had the Great Muta Kaiji Muto defeated Shinsuke Nakamura to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, which is a pretty big deal because Muta is like a legend in Japanese wrestling.
I've even heard.
Nakamura obviously was on a meteoric rise at the time. Just to have Muta come back and sort of win it was great. He will always be sort of like one of the godfathers of Japanese wrestling, so it's nice to see him getting like some sort of recognition still well into his career.
Congratulations. And we've got a birthday.
Oh, we've got a birthday again. Who's it this time? Is it great?
It's epic. Like, really, just...
You better have a favourite moment from this person's career.
No, their birthday, probably. Vladimir Kozlov. Happy birthday to you.
Everybody loves a foreign heel. It's such a played out stereotype, isn't it? It's like, I'm not from this country, so I don't like you. And it's like Rusev sort of is the current embodiment of that, but it's a little less on the nose.
Yeah, it's like,
oh, God.
Plus, everyone loves Rusev.
Yeah, Rusev's great. But it's just, I can't believe that for so long it was just so easy to just go, I'm Russian, and everybody just boo you, and that'd be it.
It's like the League of Nations. We're from all over the place, but not here.
League of Nations, it was always good because whenever Rusev would get the mic, you've just got to watch, anytime you go back and look at that, just watch Wade Barrett. Because whenever Rusev starts talking, he just corpses. He can't, like, because Rusev just spouts nonsense. Just spouts absolute nonsense about being in the home country.
I love the League of Nations.
And Barrett just can't, like, he just sits there and laughs. It's amazing.
Happy birthday. So that was this day in wrestling, and you can follow me on Twitter here. If you like what we do at Cultaholic, you can support us by pledging to our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.